All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Elijah Harrison, and I am an opportunity navigator with Pipelines and Pathways. And I have some of my colleagues here with me, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. I'm Antonio Stepman. I'm a community outreach specialist, job readiness training. And glad to be here and be able to give my input.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Claudio Otero, and I'm also an opportunity navigator with UVA Pipelines and Pathways, and good to see a lot of familiar faces here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We are, like we said, Pipelines and Pathways, and this is a workshop regarding professional image and making a lasting impression as we prepare for our March 10th Community and Career Fair at PVCC Bollock Center. So this is to prepare you for that. So to get us started, the workshop will cover dressing appropriately for various industries, communicating effectively with employers, such as those who will be at the job fair, writing polished emails, and then developing your elevator pitch, which will be very useful as you meet with employers at the job fair. All right, so dressing for success. So you want to dress appropriately based on the industry. This is pretty straightforward. So for corporate, business formal, dress, shoes, suits. I've got a blazer on, a tie, a collared dress shirt. This is appropriate for, uh, an interview. Healthcare. So, of course, if you are working in the healthcare industry, you would be wearing appropriate attire. For that, that looks like scrubs or business casual if you're more administrative. And then hospitality, they'll have uniforms or business casual. And then trades, there's industry specific attire for that, uh, following OSHA standards and, things of that nature when it comes to safety. But specifically when it comes to attire for men, some do's that we want to keep in mind is wearing, well-fitted suits if feasible for you. And then opting for neutral colored dress shirts. You don't want to be too flashy, like a lime or yellow, like a lime green or you want to keep it subtle, don't want to be too poppy. And then your shoes, you want to keep those polished, professional. Don't want any flashy shoes. They've got those shoes with the little wheels on them and lights. You don't want those. You definitely want to maintain good grooming, so make sure you smell good, look good, feel good. Um, Maintaining proper hygiene. It is noticed, so just take care of yourself. Some don'ts. Avoid wrinkled or stained clothing. So make sure your clothing looks uh, ironed and clean. No flashy accessories or, strong cologne. Cologne is fine, I think, but you don't want anything overpowering. It can cause people to uh, react negatively. So if they've got some sort of sensitivity to smells, it could. And then flashy accessories, don't want to wear anything too outlandish. And then definitely avoid overly casual wear unless it's appropriate. So for the job fair, it's okay to wear sneakers. You're going to be doing a lot of walking, but I would definitely refrain from wearing a t-shirt with graphics on it. If you have a collared shirt, that's preferred. Jeans is okay as long as they don't have holes. Preferred maybe khakis or dress pants. And then if you've got a jacket, that or like a blazer, that would be great too. But I want to bring it back to you all and see what um, do's and don'ts you all have for men's attire from your experience.
For men's attire, when you talk about jewelry, you do have the chains, so no chains, just a nice, if you want to wear a nice necklace, that's fine, but nothing that has a big giant logo on it. We're not sponsoring anybody when we're going on to an interview, but yourself. So avoid that. Also, I would say this might not for a lot of people, but I speak from experience. I have a really bad habit of biting my fingernails, so I'm learning not to do that. So before I would go on an interview, I would make sure that you make sure your hands are super clean and your nails are clean. You clean under your nails because remember, when you first introduce yourself, you're going to reach out that hand and you're going to shake that hand. So you want to make sure that your hands are clean, your nails are clean. Trust me, people notice and see all sorts of things. Um, Haircuts, you want to make sure you have a fresh haircut. Nothing crazy. I haven't seen this in a while, but back in the day, you had people who had the little initials in the back of their head or something like that. Nothing crazy like that. Just a nice professional haircut. Um, my aunt used to say, going back to what Elijah said about colognes, my aunt would always say, a little dab would do you. So just a little dab. You don't want to spray where you smell like you bathed in it. Some colognes are very strong and linger. I used to have an employee that I could always tell when he had been in my office because I would walk in, I'm like, yep, I can smell them. Like it just lingered for hours. So just be aware that 'cause people do have allergies.
Thank you, Antonio, for all of that. Those are all really great points. Does anyone else have any other tips, maybe from your own experience? Maybe you showed up somewhere underdressed. I know I have. But you live and learn.
Oh, and one more thing, fellas, make sure you have a belt on. You
Mm.
know, sometimes pants, you can sometimes you put on a pair of pants and they feel all nice and snug. You're like, okay, I don't need a belt. And then as you start walking around, everything start loosening up. And the last thing you want to have a oops moment. So just make sure you have a nice casual, either black or brown belt. You don't need a belt with a huge giant logo on it. We're not Batman or anybody, so we're not pressing to communicate or anything. So just a normal, regular fashion belt.
Yeah, and that'll help keep those pants up. So, all right. If we don't have any other tips, we're going to move on to the next. Well, before we do that, we do want to show this little example of what appears to be solid, I would say, attire. As you can see, everyone is wearing a well-fitted suit. Of course, this is clip art. However, the point is there's nothing too flashy going on. Everything is subtle, neutral, nice and clean.
I would
Oh,
definitely rock all those outfits.
right. So, um, attire for women. What we've got here is some do's such as wearing well-tailored suits or business casual, keeping accessories minimal and professional, and then closed-toe shoes for formal settings. Maintaining neat and professional grooming, and then for don'ts, avoid overly tight or revealing clothing, no excessive perfume or flashy jewelry. People could be sensitive to smells and we don't want to distract. So avoiding casual flip-flops or sneakers in formal settings. So really all of these are distractions and we want to avoid distractions. We want to keep things as neutral as possible. I'm not a woman. I don't wear women's clothing, but these are just some of, based on our research, what we found to be some do's and don'ts. But I would love to hear from you all, any tips you might have from personal experience or things you've seen and you would like to share.
So do you feel like sometimes people would be overdressed? Like, uh, if somebody dresses too formal, it would also look so awkward as well.
I agree.
Right?
It would look out of place, right? So definitely don't want to overdress. With our example here, obviously it's clip art. None of these individuals appear to be overdressed, in my opinion. But if they were wearing a formal dress that one would wear to like a dinner, then it could be pushing overdressed, maybe not quite. Then you get into, uh, I mean, the extreme end is a wedding dress, of course. But the point is you don't want to overdress, and I think we can make that judgment call based on the norms or reading the room. I think here, though, what we have is what I would, and you can let me know what your all's opinion is. But I think these are pretty neutral, but also formal attire, not too flashy.
I would say the safe way for women is to think of it this way. If you wouldn't wear it at a church or to meet someone's mother or a school teacher, I wouldn't wear it at an interview. Um, a lot of us know what club attire is. So if you wouldn't wear anything that's party like outfits. Um, Also, no bonnets. We've seen that at job fairs where women, and we have seen men with long hair too, come in and they have a bonnet over their head. That's definitely inappropriate. So make sure you take the time to, do your hair, um, so that way you don't have to cover it up when you come into an interview because first impressions are everything. Um, I would say also, ladies, they when it comes to the big huge earrings, kind of tone it down. Some you don't need the real big ones, just a nice little, medium size to small. That's doable. Again, we're not trying to be flashy. We're the only thing that we're trying to show off is your skills. So just be mindful of that. Now, if you do wear a dress that is a little that kind of shows arms and stuff, okay, that's where you can get a little shawl to throw over, and in that way that's seasonable. You can get a little pin to kind of put a pin right there, which will make it fashionable as well as more professional as well. So I
Mhm.
would say, ladies, you do have a little bit more ability to kind of create and redirect your outfits because you guys have so many accessories and so many different styles that you can rock with. Unlike men, we don't have so many. We're getting there. But right now, you women have a lot more you can work with.
Thank you.
Oh, and make sure you wear, if you do decide to wear heels, at a job fair, it's a lot of walking. So make sure you wear heels that are comfortable. Because, you don't want to be at a job fair, walking up to tables, trying to introduce yourself, and then eventually you're kicking off the heels because your feet is hurting. So make sure you wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, and I would even say go as far as to say that for an interview too, because not everybody is comfortable wearing heels. You don't want to go to an interview. This is your first time wearing heels in a long time, and you have what we like to call Bambi legs, where your ankles aren't supported, your legs are kind of buckling every which way. So I would suggest maybe getting a nice flat that goes with the outfit that you're wearing. I would also suggest, I know sneakers aren't are on the don't list, but if you're wearing a pantsuit, if you have a nice pair of white sneakers or black sneakers that are just very neutral colored, those would also work. Sometimes depending on the what kind of interview you're going to. The climate is changing now. Sneakers are a little more acceptable. But if you do wear sneakers, make sure they're clean, white, or black. And only wear that with the pantsuit. Do not wear sneakers with the skirt, please.
Oh, thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah, that is very helpful. Are there any other tips?
Nails, yes, yeah. It's starting. Things start. I have a lot. I have sisters
Mhm.
and cousins, and a lot of sisters, by the way. Which luckily for me, they've never been really into the nail fashion. But when you are doing a coming to a job interview, you just want basic nails. We all these. You have some nails that are so creative that they look like a work of art, which can take away for the interview process. So just keep it basic. If you're going to apply for a CNA position, I would say any medical position that you're applying for where you're going to be hands on with the patient, then you don't want nails at all.
Mhm.
Because part of their protocol anyway is if you place your hands in front of your face and you can see your nails, then they're too long. Um,
Um,
so if you're in the healthcare field, you want to make sure your nails are trimmed. So that way it's not like, okay, well, they're talking about getting a job as a CNA or a nurse, but woo, look at those nails. Um, and don't get me wrong, there I know some of the you women you pay for these beautiful design nails that got the little jewelry also that's on them. My niece has showed me all sorts of crazy stuff, but I'm like, oh wow, how? But just keep it simple.
mhm.
I would also say if you don't want to wear or come out with your natural nails or your natural nail bed, a short almond shaped nail would be perfect. That way the tip isn't too sharp. It's very rounded. But yeah, short almond shaped nails would be perfectly fine.
Mhm.
These are fantastic tips. And like as mentioned before, you want to treat it like an interview. So going into this job fair, although you are not interviewing, you want to treat it like an interview. You want to go in with the mindset that you are interviewing with the employer that you're meeting. To help prepare you for that further, we will be going over how to create an elevator pitch. And Antonio, I'm gonna let you take these from here.
Okay, do. So, crafting your elevator pitch. Okay, so first, a strong elevator pitch includes your name and background, because let's face it, we need to know who you are. Your background tells us everything about you, which will lead into your skills and strengths. Your skills and strengths is like the meat and potatoes of who you are. And then, of course, that will follow through to what you're looking for in a job. So, you're going to want to explain why you would be a great fit. Because again, it's like advertising. You're pretty much selling yourself and saying, hey, this is why you should choose me. This is why I am what's good for the company and why the company will be good for me. So, for example, they have here, hi, I'm Alex. I'm an experienced customer service professional with 5 years in the industry. I excel in problem solving, communication. I'm looking for opportunities in the client relations where I can leverage my skills to enhance customer satisfaction. Now, that's a nice basic one. In a few minutes, Elijah is going to show you how to create an elevator pitch using Chat GPT. I'm going to give you another alternate version one, and this one is before more conversational. So if I'm going up to a hiring manager, um, I would personally say something as, hi, my name is Antonio Stedman. I specialize in connecting people to opportunities. Over the past 8 years, I've led workforce development and community engagement efforts across nonprofit and higher education settings. At
Hmm.
UVA, I build employment pipelines and facilitate job readiness programs that have helped over 450 individuals secure career pathways. Previously, as a senior director and interim CEO, I led teams, managed grants, and expanded community programs. I bring strategic planning, hands on leadership, and strong stakeholder relationships to every role that I take on.
Hmm.
And that way, that opens the door for them to go, tell me more.
Exactly. Yes. Antonio, thank you for sharing your version of the elevator pitch. I'm going to quickly go over that example. So the name, of course, is underlined with Alex, but the experience or the background is highlighted with a simple few words. Experienced customer service professional with 5 years in the industry. So they have a metric, how long they've been in it, and then excelling at problem solving and communication. Those are your skills and strengths. And then I'm looking for opportunities in client relations. That's what they're looking for. And then why is so they can leverage their skills. So I just wanted to shine light on that. But yes, as Antonio said, I'm going to show you all how to use ChatGPT to create an elevator pitch just using your resume. And you can tweak this elevator pitch to fit your needs. So if you're going in not fully aware of what you're looking for in terms of employment, then you can keep it general. But if you're very specific, then you can tailor it specifically to that industry. So let me get out of here and pull up another tab. So here I've got ChatGPT opened, and I will ask it to, based on the resume, crafts a short elevator pitch for job fair. And then I'm going to pull up the resume for this not real person, paste the content within, and enter. So the elevator pitch output is, hi, I'm Jordan Mitchell, a business operations specialist with over 6 years of experience driving efficiency and measurable growth in fast-paced environments. In my current role as senior operations analyst at Bright Path Solutions, I led a team of 8 to reduce overhead costs by 18%, built a performance dashboard that increased productivity by 25%, and launched automation initiatives that cut manual reporting time by 40%. And then it goes on to talk more about their specialty. But this one I feel might be a little too long. So I'm going to ask it to make it shorter and more conversational. Hi, I'm Jordan. I've spent the past 6 years in business operations helping teams work smarter and drive growth. In my current role, I led a team that cut costs by 18%, improved productivity by 25%, and automated reporting to save 40% of manual time. I love using data and process improvement to solve problems and make operations more efficient. I love to connect and see how I can help your team hit its goals. So right off the bat, you have name, background, you have some skills not highlighted specifically, but they have data and process experience. They do solve problems. And then their reason why is they'd love to connect and see how they can help your team hit its goal. So this is just an elevator pitch that's more general. You can play with it and ask it to be more tailored to this industry, and have those printed out, written out, memorized. Really, it's just to get you started to show your who you are really quickly in a snippet. So let's go back to the presentation. I need to get here. And are there any questions before I hand it back over to Antonio for the next slide regarding the Chat GPT and resume to craft your elevator pitch? Are there any questions regarding that? Okay, we will move forward.
Okay, communicating with employers. So here are the do's. Be polite and professional in emails. Um, a lot of times when people write emails, you know how you read a text, you can sometimes pick out people's feelings and emotions by what you read. So make sure you start off with a hi, I hope all is well. I hope you're doing well, and keep it professional. Use clear and concise language. Make sure you know exactly what you're saying, and proofread before you send. Because a lot of times we, if you're in a rush, you'll type up something and send it, and your reader's looking, going, "What?" So you want to make sure they're understanding what you're sending to them. So make sure you proofread before sending. And fun fact, as many emails I send, there are times that I reach out to my coworkers and go, "Hey, can you proofread this before I send it off?" And usually they can find a little mistake that I made, like, "Ooh, thanks for catching that," and I quickly fix it. So that is definitely important. You spell check. They have grammar, Grammarly that would also help you fix a lot of your stuff.
Mm.
The don'ts.
All right. Yeah.
Avoid using slang or informal language. Do not put things in capital letters. That means you're screaming at a person when you're sending an email. Do not send emails with typos or grammatical errors, and avoid being too casual in a professional setting. Remember, this is a professional setting. We shouldn't uh, just be freestyling conversations that has really nothing to do with the job. Claudio, a nice elevator pitch template. Oh, thank you, Claudio, for sending that. Now, a big one, social media and your professional image. A lot of people have no idea how this can hurt or harm them. We do live in a world now that a lot of times people will go and check your social media out. So keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. I know it's hard. I even struggle with it at times, but anytime you either have accomplished something or have something to update, go ahead and try to do it. Use professional photos for job related accounts. So, if you got those nice headshots, those will be the ones to use. If you're professionally dressed, those will be the shots you want to use as well. And engage with industry related content. So whatever you're selling, that's what you're going to want to be putting down.
Mm. May I add one thing? So when it comes to your social media, such as LinkedIn, when we talk about engaging with the industry related content, what that means is just engaging with the industry that you're working towards. So, for example, if my industry is in the healthcare industry, I'm going to engage with posts that are within the healthcare industry, maybe the latest research or the latest development. And that showcases your engagement with the industry and, um, you know, if you want for your professional photo, for your LinkedIn profile, I know we've got a application that we've used in the past. I don't remember the name of it, but it is used. What it does is it'll take a regular photo, like a selfie, and AI generate a headshot. Because I know headshots can be expensive and hard to get at times. Um, but there's Antonio or Claudio, do you all remember the name of that application that we used for that Pathways to Success?
I remember what you're talking about, but I cannot remember the
It wasn't Blink, but anyways, there's the point is there is resources and tools out there that can help create headshots for you, which will go a long way. If you don't have a LinkedIn, I would suggest creating one. And if you need help with that, you can always reach out to us. But moving on to the don'ts, I'll give it back to you, Antonio.
Well, I will also add the reason why you should get a LinkedIn is because also um, like Elijah said, that when you're focused on in your industrial related content, you may have people send you go, oh, they're interested when we have job openings, and
Mm,
they will sometimes send you job openings. I've heard a lot of people uh, get jobs based off on that. So yeah, definitely stay connected.
it's a great point.
Uh, the don'ts. Now, yes, we know that right now in this time and day and era that there's a lot of stuff going on social media and a lot of stuff going on in the world right now that a lot of us want to speak on. Well, avoid posting controversial or offensive content. Again, your page, your professional page should be your professional page. If you have a separate page, make sure that that page is way separate from your professional page. Some things you can say, because you have to remember when you are working for a company, you are a representative of that company. So, whatever your beliefs are may not be tied with theirs. So, you got to make sure that you keep those church and state, as they would say. Um, don't share unprofessional photos. You know, again, the unprofessional photos that is for your friends' social media. That's for them. And be mindful of your online presence as employers may check Instagram, Facebook, and yes, they will check it. There have been people who didn't receive the job because they checked their Facebook, Instagram, and there was some alarming things on there. It was like, okay, this doesn't really affiliate with our company, so maybe not. So if you haven't had the opportunity to clean up your page, this is the time to do it. Um, this will be the time to separate your personal page from your professional page, and just keep in mind on the conversations you have on there. Any questions? Okay, well, now we're at the final countdown. Final tips for success. Again, dress appropriately for the industry. You want to make sure whatever you're applying for, you're dressed for that. Communicate professionally in all settings and have a strong elevator pitch prepared. Remember, the job fair, it's going to be a lot of people there.
Mm,
So, pretty much competing with a lot of people, but I can guarantee you and promise you, when you first
yeah.
start the elevator pitch, you're going to feel a little silly. But as you keep saying it and the day progresses, you're going to be like, just spitting it out. And it's become second nature to you.
And I will say it's worth it because it will create that first impression that you really want employers to have of you. It is so important, that first impression, that first interaction, makes the biggest imprint. So if you've got a strong elevator pitch prepared, you are already way ahead of the ball game. No one else is doing that. If you do that, you're going to stand out immensely from everyone else. So
Then next, maintain a clean and professional social media presence. Because trust me, if you woo them with your elevator pitch and they really like you, they're going to do a little research on you. So we want to make sure that comes back positive. And always put your best foot forward. You know,
amen.
remember, nobody can do what you do, but you do. So you have to make sure that, like they say, hype me up. So you got to hype yourself up. Because hey, you're the star. Again, you're telling them why they should choose you.
Exactly. And remember, first impressions, they do matter. So, all right. Well, do we have any questions from anyone regarding any of the tips we've shared regarding men's attire, women's attire, do's, don'ts, regarding writing follow-up emails to employers that you're interested in, or perhaps how to create that elevator pitch? Any questions regarding anything? Do you feel prepared for the job fair coming up?
This isn't a question. This is just a quick little tidbit. If you need any access to professional dress clothing, let one of your opportunity navigators know, and we can get you connected with somebody who can donate some clothes to.
Thank you,
Yes, thank
Claudia.
you, Claudio, for that.
I think it's pretty clear. Everything is so clear and so helpful.
Oh, well, thank you, because that means we're doing our job.
Mhm.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. Well,
This is this is not a question, but I did see the advertisement for the job fair for the pipelines and pathways on the news on NBC 29 yesterday several times.
yes, yep, yep. So we are ready for that. We're going to have over 90 employers, really excited for that. It's going to be huge. Um, so definitely come prepared, hoping that this workshop series, right? We've had, this is our third one. Hopefully these have prepared you all for the big day. Glad to have you all.
But those job positions are all for full-time positions, right?
It varies. We have over 90 employers, so you can imagine it's just there's various industries, various positions, various there's part-time, full-time. It's
Mhm.
gonna it's pretty diverse.
There would
Oh, okay.
be plenty of part-time roles available at the job fair, as well as we'll have our temps team there as well for any temporary positions. But whatever position or whatever type of role you're looking for, you'll be able to find it at this job fair.
But for example, I can go in and get some information and see what job positions they have. Because if they have there are 90 companies, I'm not even sure I know all the positions and the requirements. I can't just go in and say I want this job, but I probably have no idea what they're looking for.
So yeah, we'll have at the job fair, we'll have information on what companies will be there. As soon as you walk in, we'll provide you with the map, the name of those companies, and then what you'll have to just do is walk up to them, introduce yourself, and see what positions they have there.
Oh, thank you. So does this happen every year?
Yes,
Actually, twice a year.
twice a year.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Twice a
usually
year.
have
So this is in March. So this is springtime. And what's the other time? Like, is it in
usually in
October?
October. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
October.
Yep.
Okay.
March and October.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Thank you. And okay, let me see. Is it? Oh no, it's not. I was just trying to look at the address for the job fairs, but let me see.
Let's see. It is at the PVCC Bollock Center.
Yes, that's where it
Oh,
is.
Yes.
okay. I know that's my school.
Let me
Okay.
see if I can find
Perfect.
the address.
Is there a list of jobs that will be there, employment that will be there?
So
Oh,
as we get to finalizing the list, there will be a list that we can show everybody that's going to be there. Normally, we share it on our Pipelines and Pathways website, and you can look at it, and that way you can kind of go, okay, let me look ahead of time, and I can look them up and see what positions they have open, or also because another good thing too is, learning something about an employer before you actually step to them, so that
Mm,
way you can actually give them some fun facts about themselves, and that also can help create your elevator pitch and why you would want to work with them.
exactly. So, Antonio, that's a great point. So if you know like there is a specific organization or organizations that you want to work for, and you see that they will be at the job fair, preparing specifically for those organizations ahead of time will go a long way. So, like Antonio said, leading up to the fair, we will have a list given out probably like on our Facebook page of
mhm.
which employers will be there. And then you can go and then see what jobs are opened for those employers. We will not have specific job openings listed, but we will have the employers.
Look out. said on our Facebook. We'll probably release that either over the weekend or on Monday, as we still are having people sign up for the job fair. But yeah,
Mm.
once those signups are closed, we will most likely release that list. So keep an eye out.
Yeah. We won 100. I think we got six more spots open. We're trying to fill those last six spots. We want to make sure we have something at the dinner table for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have
I
any
have, I'm
final
sorry.
questions?
I have a question. I see that you need to register for the job fair, right?
No,
You
you
know?
do,
You do not.
you do not have to register for the job
Okay.
fair.
Okay. You just walking. Okay, I got it.
Now
Yep,
the
and well,
employers have to register, so we
Oh,
don't there.
okay.
Do we
And
have any
also,
other? Oh, sorry.
if you guys know anybody that needs help when it comes to their resume or perhaps even practicing some interviewing skills, please reach out. We have
Yep.
our contact information down here. So you can contact Pipelines and Pathways for one-on-one support or visit our website at jobs.virginia.edu or call us at the 434-962-3996 number or at the contact UVA pipelines at virginia.edu. See, we have got so many ways you can reach us. So if you
Thank
know
you.
anybody, please send them to us because we want to make sure everyone is prepared and successful at this job fair.